Hello everybody, good morning, what's up? It's Fern. Welcome back to another Planty video. Thank you so much for joining me. So today we are going to be doing my Q&A repot. I posted in the community tab a couple of weeks ago asking for questions and y'all came through as usual. Thank you so much to all of you who submitted questions. I can never get to all of the questions when I do these videos, but I try to answer a good chunk of them, and a lot of them I've answered in the past, so I'll link my Q&A playlist down below so you can check it out if you're interested in watching more of these videos and hearing my answers to various topics. This is more of just a chatty, laid-back video, an opportunity for us to connect a little bit more. I love filming these videos, so yeah, it's more about just, you know, hanging out and chatting than it is the plant stuff, but I am still of course going to be repotting plants. There's no shortage of repotting chores around here, so I have to make use of the time. The first one that we are going to be upgrading into a different pot is my Hoya chinga. It's this small leafed Hoya here. This one is stunning. I actually get a lot of questions about this plant, and honestly this is one of the best Hoyas in my collection, I would say, in terms of how quickly it grows, and it's actually been blooming for me recently. The ones that were open have already expired, but I have some more that are going to be opening, and this grows in pretty low lighting behind me on the calyx shelf there, so I just think that it's a fantastic Hoya, and it's been living in this spooky doll head planter, which I'm sure many of you will be happy to see this go into a different planter. This was a DIY from one of my Halloween spooky repot videos. I love it, but this plant has just really outgrown it. So we're going to be popping him into something a little bit more wholesome, and it is this cute little mushroom pot right here. I actually just drilled a drainage hole into it. It's all ready to rock. We're going to be sticking this guy directly into this pot, and I think that this is just going to be such a cute combo, so I'm super excited about that. The next repot that I'm going to be doing is also a bit of a fun one, and that is to repot, well, to separate and repot some of my anthurium bakeri seedlings. This is just one of the cups that I have full of anthurium bakeri, and there are 5 separate plants potted in here. I just did not have the space for, you know, a million different pots when I first took these out of sphagnum moss, so I ended up potting them all together, and I was just like, I'll see what happens and I'll separate them later, and they've actually been doing okay, but I think they're definitely going to do a lot better once they're on their own. So I have an assortment of smaller pots here. I guess it's going to be an upgrade for sure, but these are just like small 4-inch pots that we're going to be popping these ones into. They're so cute though. Yeah, I'm really happy with how these are doing. I've also got my iced matcha here, which y'all know I love my matcha. It is my go-to for a little pick-me-up. I've had a dodgy relationship with coffee in the past. If you've been here for the past few years, then you probably would know that, mostly because I just do not need something else fueling my anxious brain. So I've really been leaning into teas and matcha over the past little while. And that is where today's sponsor comes in. My favorite matcha that I've been drinking since I first tried it last year is Peak's Sun Goddess matcha. So thank you so much to Peak for sponsoring today's video. One of the reasons that I love matcha so much is that along with the caffeine, it also contains something called L-theanine, which is a really calming ingredient. So it provides more of a just sustained, nice energy boost rather than the jitters, anxiety, and a caffeine crash. Also, Peak shades their matcha for longer, so it's packed full of antioxidants and chlorophyll, which are powerful skin ingredients, which is amazing. There's a compound called EGCG in it, which is responsible for brightening the skin and also a host of other health benefits. That's honestly just the tip of the iceberg. There's so many well-known benefits of matcha for your overall well-being, and I just feel so great drinking it. Since matcha is so powerful, it's really important to find a high quality one, so I love that Peak is not only organic, but it's also quadruple toxin screened, so they're making sure that there's no pesticides, mold, heavy metals, or radioactive isotopes. It's of course ceremonial grade and best of all, delicious. I've actually been playing around with some recipes recently. I made a lavender syrup. So I have been rocking the lavender matcha iced lattes for a while and I'm just so obsessed with it. There's tons of different ways that you can drink it. You can do hot or cold. It will dissolve in both. And it comes in the pre-measured sachets, which makes it really convenient to stick with the routine of drinking it every day. And if you travel or you're on the go, it's just super handy. If you would like to try out Peak for yourself, you can get up to 15% off plus a free rechargeable frother and a free cup if you shop through my link, which is peaklife.com/fern. It will be down below in the description box. Thank you so much to Peak for sponsoring today's video. Okay, let's start with the first question, which is, do you have a cutoff number on the amount of plants you can care for at one time? I would say, or at least I've always thought that the sweet spot for number of plants to have is around 100, maybe to 150, but I really do feel like 100 would be a number that I could like keep up with and stay on top of and just accommodate, I guess. Now, don't ask me why I have literally triple that amount. As an ongoing struggle. But I don't know. I would honestly love to downsize my collection. I know I've been saying this forever and like I have been gradually downsizing, but the thing is that I also will be bringing new plants in, so I don't think that the number ever really changes. But I kind of am getting more in the mindset of having less plants and just being able to grow those ones really nicely. And I'm also just, you know, at a place with my collection that a lot of my plants are not small anymore. They're not babies. They've grown out. I've had them for years. So I'm at the point where it truly is just hard to find spots for them and accommodate all of them. I've talked about this a lot in my, you know, recent videos that I've been posting. This is just kind of the thing. When I see people who are just getting into plants and they have, you know, they're buying a ton of like little baby starter plants and they have, you know, say 20 small baby anthurium seedlings on one shelf and then, you know, 20 Hoya, like small Hoya starter cutting plants on the next shelf. And it's just like, what are you gonna do when you can only fit like 2 of those plants on this shelf? Then like eventually, like you just have to think in the long term. Didn't want this to turn into a rant, but you really do have to think in the long term of what these plants, how big they're gonna get, where you're gonna put them. Like this anthurium behind me literally was a seedling like this big. I'm not even kidding you. Like it was so just the tiniest baby leaves. It probably had like 2 tiny minuscule leaves when it came to me, and now it's this, and I struggle to find somewhere to put it, and I have 3 that are this size. So yeah, it's just, you know, it's the like number of plants that I can, the like cutoff number of plants or whatever this is asking, is a combination of how much time and how much space. So yeah, I guess it really does depend on like the size of the plants, the type of plants and all that, and how much maintenance they require. But I don't know, I just feel like 100 is a good number. If any of y'all are around the 100 plant mark, let me know how you feel. Do you feel like it's too much? Do you feel good about it? Let me know, give me your thoughts, because that's the number that I have in my mind that I'm like, I feel like that would be great. Will I ever be at that number? I don't know, because I have a really hard time downsizing my plants. But we'll see, we'll see. There's just too many, like I feel like I have 50 just Hoyas. So then what the heck? And then I have like 20 something philodendrons and then, you know, however many Alocasia, like 15 or something. And it's like the numbers just add up so quickly. And like my succulents and cactus that are outside in the summer, oh my goodness. It's just, there's a lot. And how the heck do you choose? Okay, we better get started here with some repots before I get completely carried away. Somebody is asking, what is the lore behind your staple jewelry pieces? I get a lot of questions about my rings, and I'm not sure if it's in here, but I did recently get asked about this necklace that I wear. So all of my jewelry is from a brand that was called Etta Love, but now they're under the brand Clocks and Colors. They have like, that used to just be a men's brand, but now they have like a women's section, and that's where all of this like Etta Love jewelry is now. I have had most of these pieces for a long time, since basically before I even started making plant content. I think I do have some that are more recent pieces, but most of my staples that I wear all the time I've had for a very long time, and these are the first like high quality rings or high quality jewelry pieces that I've ever owned where I can actually wear them all the time and it doesn't leave like, you know, weird staining or anything, because these are all sterling silver. But there isn't really any particular lore around any one piece. They're all just things that I like the look of, thought they were cool. Obviously I have my book here. I love books, I love reading. That's one of my other biggest hobbies, so that's obviously why I have that one. But then a lot of them are just like, I thought they looked cool, like these two. Love the snake and the shape of that one too, really cool. And then obviously my sunshine, because I love the sun, of course, as a plant person. Yeah, really gorgeous. And then just this like heart barbed wire kind of situation. I don't know, I just really love them. I love how they all go together. And I do have others from this brand as well, but these are the ones that I wear, like my everyday kind of staples. And then my necklace that I've been wearing every day lately is just this little wing. Again, no meaning, I just thought it was cute. I like to wear this one as my everyday kind of necklace because it's just like simple, and yeah, I don't know, I like it. Oh my gosh, I keep forgetting to repot, but yeah, I really love their pieces and highly recommend them if you are looking for like high quality jewelry that's kind of like edgier. I was just looking the other day and they have a locket that's so cool. I don't know what I would put in it, but I love it. I don't think I'm gonna buy it. It's like a few $100s, but if you're looking for a locket, yeah, they have a stunning one on there right now. Anyways, yeah, I always wanted to be a ring girly, but I just couldn't find any rings that I really liked or that I could just keep on like all the time. So I'm just obsessed that I found these ones. Okay, I'm gonna just pop, we're using the DIY soil mix again. I'm gonna just pop some of this into here to fill up this. Can you even see this? What the heck? I have to maybe back you up a little bit. Yeah, using my DIY mix. I almost caved the other day and bought some more mollies. I think I might, honestly. I don't know, I miss it. I'm actually thinking of buying mollies and ordering some tree fern fiber, which I know I've been saying that I'm not going to. I haven't been saying I'm not going to order it. I've just been saying that I haven't ordered it because it's just so expensive. But I saw that it was on sale at Northern Gecko. So I might end up placing an order with that. Yeah, I've definitely been tempted to make some potting mix related purchases lately, but for now I'm just gonna keep using up my DIY stuff. Although I wouldn't say I'm running low. No, I'm not. Molly's is a temptress though. Like, I always just wish that I had Molly's rather than my DIY mix. Oh yeah, okay, the question. Wow, we are all over the place today. I'm so sorry. The question is asking about any new tattoos, and I always get so many questions about my tattoos, and I don't know, I just don't really like, I've talked about them a little bit in the past, but I always get people asking for a tattoo tour and stuff like that. And the reason that I probably won't ever post a tattoo tour is because they always end up on creepy playlists, unfortunately, because I've made tattoo tour videos in the past, like years ago, and that's always what would happen. So yeah, that's just kind of like icky. So I don't think, and also I just like don't really care about my tattoos that much. Like, a lot of them are over 10 years old at this point, and they just don't really like, I don't know, I'm just kind of like whatever about them, to be completely honest. I will probably get new tattoos eventually, but I just don't have any plans currently to get them. So yeah, I don't know, sorry that that's kind of a boring answer, but I just like, I don't know, I just don't really care about tattoos right now. I used to be really into tattoos and getting tattooed, obviously. And yeah, like really into like researching artists and like planning out new tattoos and like getting excited and stuff like that. And it's just not really something that excites me that much anymore. So I guess that's why I'm just like not super inclined to talk about it. Next question is, what is the worst pest in your opinion / experience? Which pest do you find is the easiest to handle? Oh my goodness, I feel like this is going to be kind of hard to get out of here because it's in the doll head kind of situation. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, I'm gonna kind of gently try to get this out. while answering this question. Worst pest in my opinion is thrips for sure, but honestly I feel like mealies is a close second, just with my experience of them over the past year. They are so persistent. It's like, oh my goodness, you need to be treating like every 2 or 3 days to get mealies under control. I'm serious. Like, I have had such a hard time with them recently. In the past, you know, I've had them maybe pop up like a couple of times and then they would go away, but I don't know what it is about this particular infestation that I've been dealing with, but it is so hard to get rid of them and it's so freaking annoying. So yeah, I am hating mealies right now. Luckily I haven't had thrips in a while, but those are like very scary and they will actually damage your plants super quickly and spread super quickly. And yeah, those are just hard to get rid of and a nightmare. I don't even want to think about thrips right now, honestly. If you find them early, then it's usually okay. I mean, yeah, you definitely have way better chances if you find them early. And which pest do I find is the easiest to handle? I mean, like, aphids are easy because you can literally just wash them off, but I feel like, I don't know, when I think about plant pests, like the, you know, the actual plant pests that I see all the time, I think of spider mites, mealies, thrips, flat mites. Is that it? Scale, I guess, is like something that's in my orbit recently for whatever reason. And I would say that the easiest to deal with is, I guess, scale, even though that is even kind of being persistent for me right now, but I honestly think that's mostly just because of my laziness of not keeping up with removing it. Spider mites aren't bad. Like, I don't really get stressed about spider mites. Yes, they're annoying, but I don't really get that stressed. So yeah, I guess that's gonna be my thoughts on that. Okay, I don't know what the heck I'm gonna do here. Maybe I'm gonna try to remove some of the soil. I'm just gonna keep gently trying to take this out while we chat. This is actually like the perfect plant to work with right now because it's just gonna require some patience to wiggle it out of here. So the next question is, now that you have a bigger home, do you feel obligated to fill it with plants because of your job, or is it pure joy? Do you still want to downsize at times? So I kind of talked about this already, that yes, I still do want to downsize, and that's mostly just because my plants are getting bigger. It's hard to find space for all of them, and even though this house is bigger, it's still not big. Like, I'm still only working with this like very small living space here. I have my plants basically in front of 2 windows. I mean 3 if you count like the stacked one above the one right here. But I watched some other channels of people who live in big, huge houses, and they're like, oh yeah, I have like 30 something windows in my house. And I'm like, oh my God, like I have like freaking 4 windows here. So it's like, it's limited real estate. And yes, I do have grow lights. I have to have grow lights to grow plants here. But it's not like I'm working with a huge living space here to put my plants. Like, I still have, you know, a lot of plants in a small space. But even if I did have a large space, would I have more plants? I don't know. As I was saying earlier, I feel just kind of more inclined lately to have less plants, but grow them more nicely. Like, I feel like that is more impressive and more, I don't know, fulfilling, I guess, or like satisfying, because when you feel like you're just spreading yourself too thin and you're only like giving subpar care to all of your plants, it's just not as rewarding as giving really good care to a smaller amount of plants, if you know what I mean. So I have really been shifting my mindset to that recently, even though yes, I still do have a ton of plants, but I don't really feel the desire to have to keep increasing the number. Like, I'm very much satisfied just caring for the plants that I have, and the ones that I really have had for a while and that are growing bigger and that I've put a lot of time and energy into are the ones that are the most rewarding to me and that I love the most. It would be nice to have a larger space to grow some more tree-like plants, you know, maybe some ficus or just, yeah, more space to have larger plants, I guess, would be really nice. anyways, I guess I'm not even really answering this question, but it said because of your job, or is it pure joy? I guess a better way to answer this question would be to say that I feel like with my job, which is, you know, creating planty content, I don't really feel like, I feel like in the past I'd kind of thought like, oh, I need more plants so that I can talk about more plants on my channel, like that's what people want to see. But I don't even really think that that's the case, because like I said, like I feel like it's almost more impressive if you have just plants that you have really put a lot of energy into and have grown to their like full potential, rather than having just a larger number of plants. I feel like when I watch channels, I don't even really care if I'm seeing different plants all the time. Like I love when, like, I don't care about the number of plants. Like I'm happy to see the same plant over and over and to like hear more in depth about that plant's care and just like admire it, because it's so nice, because, you know, this person doesn't have 300 plants that they're trying to grow as well. So I don't know, you guys can let me know what you think, but yeah, I definitely don't really feel pressured to have more plants because of my channel. Like I feel like I can create a lot of content and just like be even more helpful and more just like inspiring, I guess, with growing nice plants with the number of plants that I have. Like I don't feel like I need to constantly be increasing that number. Okay, this is slowly, oh, I think it's coming. Oh, there it is. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe this Hoya has been squished in there for so long. This is crazy. Look at these roots. Oh, Olive's barking. Maybe the mailman's here. That is crazy. I don't know if any of these thoughts make sense. I feel like I'm taking a really roundabout way of saying that I am much more leaning towards quality rather than quantity these days. So yeah, y'all can chat in the comments with me. Let me know what you think, because I kind of have a feeling that the plant community is kind of moving in that direction, but maybe it's just me and where I'm at now, because I know that like I feel like plant sales are kind of popping these days with like how trendy live sales are now and stuff. So maybe people are still buying. Oh, my lettuce grow is watering itself. So maybe some people feel the complete opposite of me. I don't know. That's just how I feel right now. The next question is, do you have any merch? I would love to support you and get some plant themed merch. Love your channel and the calm vibes. Thank you so much. I've been asked this a few times recently, which is why I wanted to answer it on here, because I used to have a merch shop and then I ended up closing it because there was some quality control issues and just things that I was not happy with the like company that I was going through. So I ended up closing that down because it just wasn't up to par, and I want to be able to offer quality pieces for whenever I do end up selling merch again. So that means that I need to take the time to research like who I'm going to use for if and when I open a merch shop again. And I do really want to. I loved having merch. It's so fun. I still love all of the merch that I made and that I have. So hopefully, like I'm hoping over the fall winter I'll have more time to kind of focus on that. I'm already so busy this summer, so I just know I'm not going to have time for that. But hopefully I will be able to find a good solution for opening a new and improved merch shop in the future. So I'll obviously let y'all know. Oh goodness, I think I have too much soil in here. I'll definitely let you guys know if and when I do that. But yeah, I would really like to again. So yeah, that's kind of the update on that. Next question is, any advice for aspiring plant content creators? And honestly, I feel like I've definitely talked about this before in some of my past Q&As, but I also just kind of feel like I'm not a good person to give advice for this, because I started my channel at such a different time than the like YouTube or just like social media in general climate of today. And also just the like houseplant community is very different today than it was, not even community, but just like the, like, I don't know, houseplant trendiness is very different than it was when I first started. And I feel like my channel, the reason that it's, you know, gained traction when it did is largely just because of luck and timing. And that's not to say, like, I'm not trying to sell myself short and being like, I'm not trying to sell myself short and say that I haven't worked hard or that I don't offer something that's, you know, of good quality, because I do think that I work really hard. But I also just, my channel, I started my plant channel right at the peak, or I started like talking about plants on my channel, because I've had this channel for a long time, but I used to just post like lifestyle vloggy stuff, whatever. And then I started posting about plants at the literal peak of the trend of houseplants. Like if you look on Google Trends and you type in houseplants, you can see the peak in 2020. And that is just when I happened to be posting about houseplants on YouTube. So combined with me posting right at the peak trendiness of houseplants, combined with just the houseplant online community on YouTube, it was much smaller. There were not nearly as many people creating houseplant content. There were like a few established channels, but other than that, like, it just wasn't as big of a thing as it is now. Like now there's so many people creating plenty content, which is amazing. I love finding new channels and I love watching everybody, but it obviously makes it harder because the trend is not at the peak. So the trend is like going down, but the amount of content creators is going up. So I feel like it's definitely a lot harder nowadays to like have your channel be noticed. And yeah, it's just completely different than when I started my channel. So in a lot of ways, I was just very lucky that I was able to get my channel established just because of those factors that kind of worked in my favor. Okay, honestly, this pot is not as big as I thought it was going to be for this plant. It's still an upgrade, but it's maybe not as big of an upgrade as I thought it was going to be, but that's okay. I still want to have it in this pot because I think it's so cute. I mean, it's definitely better. Yeah, okay, I'll top this up with soil. This pot is from Simon's, by the way. I did a little houseplant or plant pot haul in one of the, I think it was day 1 of Plant Chores Week. Yeah, and this is one of the new pots I got and I am just obsessed with it. But yeah, so I feel like it's like, it's just, I don't know, it's just for someone just starting out, I don't know what advice I could really offer, honestly. Thumbnails, like put a lot of effort into your thumbnails because that's obviously what's going to get people to click on your videos. Good audio quality, like I find sometimes I'll find a really awesome channel, not even just in plants, but like in anything, and the audio quality is so bad and it makes it really hard to watch videos when you can hardly hear the person. So I think like having high quality is really gonna already set you apart from other channels. And if you can find a way to just, I don't know, be like, it sounds so cliche, but to be a little bit more unique or more like, I don't know, I feel like that was kind of another thing that set my channel apart. It sounds so silly and I'm not trying to like, you know, flatter myself here, but I feel like I just had kind of a different style than a lot of the plant creators that were currently on YouTube when I started, both like aesthetically, but also just in the approach of the style of videos that I took. First of all, I didn't really see a lot of people that looked like me in like the indoor gardening or planty kind of part of YouTube. Like, yeah, I wasn't really seeing anybody that had like a similar style to me or that I felt like really reflected. Yeah, I don't know how to describe it. Like, I guess there wasn't really anybody else that had kind of like an edgier vibe happening, I guess. So just the fact of like any way that you can stand out in people's minds that's different from just everything else that's out there. But also the style of my videos, I wasn't seeing as much just like cozy, relatable, like hang out with your plant friend kind of content on YouTube. I was just seeing a lot of informational content when it came to plants and like hauls and stuff, but I wasn't seeing a lot of like cozy, let's do plant chores together, or let's just like, you know, kind of like hang out kind of vibes, which is my favorite type of video to make. or just like, oh, let's do updates and see what's going on in my houseplant collection. Like I just wasn't really seeing a lot of content like that. So I made it because that's the type of content that I like watching, because I've watched YouTube for a long time and I kind of have just always borrowed from other like niches for the type of videos that I like making based on what I like watching, if that makes any sense. Anyways, I don't know if this is helpful at all, but I guess this is just me reflecting on. Okay, we are done with our first plant here. Oh my goodness, quite the transformation. Wow, look at how cute this pot is. Oh my gosh, there's hairs on her, get off. Wow, this is so cute. Oh my goodness. I am just in love with this. You know, I really didn't think I was gonna love this Hoya chinga as much as I do, but I really do just adore it, and the fact that it has been blooming for me recently, oh my goodness, I'm obsessed. And such a resilient Hoya as well, because this had flat mites and it still just didn't even miss a beat. Like it just still gave me new growth throughout the whole thing, and it's just been doing amazing. So yeah, absolutely obsessed with this plant and obsessed with this pot. An iconic combo, and he does have a crystal on him as well, which is so cute. Let me show you that I beaded onto him when this vine was first growing. So cute. Yeah, love this. He's so stylish. Actually, I'm gonna get this out of the way. Okay, what is your current favorite plant chore or plant related thing to do? I honestly feel like my favorite plant chore is what we're doing right now, repotting, especially when it's something like that where I'm putting it into a new cute pot, because it's such just instant gratification. Like that is so satisfying to see that plant not only like being upsized into a larger pot, so it's going to be happier and has fresh soil, and I feel like I'm really nurturing it and taking care of it, but it's also in a like new cute pot, and it just looks amazing. So that's just, yeah, love that. So satisfying. Love a good repot. Some repots are less exciting than others. Like I'm not particularly excited to just be switching these into just plastic nursery pots. It's kind of anticlimactic, but it needs to be done. It's all part of the process. Okay, while I kind of separate these out, I will move on to the next question, which is, I thought this one was kind of fun. If you could control only one plant for 24 hours, in parentheses, growth, variegation, blooms, you name it, which one would you choose and what would you control? So I interpreted this as I can choose a plant that I can just like change anything about it that I want to, like make it grow super big or make it bloom or whatever. So I was thinking about what plants like I really want to do well but just are not doing well for me. So if I could control them and change that and make them do well. So the ones that I came up with are, first of all, Aglaonema Manila's Pride. Tell me why that plant just does not want to grow happily. If anybody else has a Manila's Pride, let me know how yours is doing. Do you have a happy one? I need to know if anybody has a happy one, because I've only heard other people say that theirs is also difficult to grow. And you know, we repotted this one recently and I was showing you all the new leaves that it has coming in, and it's been blooming and it seemed to be doing really well, but it's just not looking nice. Like even the new leaves, they're just, I don't know, the leaves always just look kind of like warped or like crinkled, like they're still kind of, you know, I want nice open like flat leaves, and these ones always just seem kind of like warped looking. So if I could control that plant and make it have nice variegation, because sometimes like I feel like that plant reverts very easily. I have a lot of just silver leaves on it. So if I could have that plant have nice variegation and actually grow nicely, then I would do that, because it's one that I would just love to see a beautiful version of it, but it just seems so difficult to get there. Another one that I have had historically a lot of trouble growing is the Philodendron serpens. So if I could grow that plant and get it to just be like big and beautiful, I would definitely control that if I could, because I'd be out here trying, but it just does not want to do the best for me. If y'all follow Philo Brandon on Instagram, he now has a YouTube, And he has a stunning philodendron serpens. It is big, lush, healthy looking, gorgeous. I think he grows all of his plants in semi-hydro, does he? I think so. But if I could have one like that, I would be very happy, but it just does not want to seem to happen for me. Anyways, and then the other one that popped into my head was the Alocasia Jacqueline, because I have just been having some serious struggles with my Alocasia Jacqueline. And, oh my goodness, careful, careful. And I'm not really sure what that's about. I mean, it's had spider mites. It's probably has spider mites right now. But even when I am on top of treating it, it just won't grow. Everything I do for that Alocasia just, I don't know, it's never enough, it seems. It's so weird because it grew so well for me, like from when it was small to its large size that it is now, it grew so easily. And I was like, wow, this Alocasia is such a breeze. But now, ever since it reached its large size, it's just been so tricky for me, which is weird because usually I have the opposite experience with plants. Usually they're finicky when they're small, and then once they get mature, then they're fine. But yeah, I don't know what it is with this one. It's so difficult, but it is probably my favorite Alocasia. So it's so sad that mine doesn't want to grow well for me. Or one of my favorite Alocasia, at least. It's always so hard to, like, you know, choose just one. But yeah, if I could control that one to be just healthy and growing new leaves, that would be grand. Okay, the next question is, what is the first plant that you got? Which a lot of y'all will know, it is Greta, who I have part of her right here. This is my Marble Queen Pothos, and this one is climbing, as you can see. She's actually looking stunning. I don't know if you're gonna be able to, yeah, it's too hard to show her with the table. But yeah, she's doing well. She's looking absolutely stunning, and I also have a trailing version of her in the bedroom. But yeah, this is, you know, a cutting from my original Marble Queen Pothos, which is so cool. I've had her for over 10 years now, and half of those years I had no idea, I knew nothing about plants. I had no idea how to take care of her, so it's a miracle that she is with us today. But yeah, I've had her for years. I've had her in like every single place that I've lived here on Vancouver Island, which I've lived in, what, like 5 or something different places? 7, at least 7 that I can count, that I can think of right now, different houses. And she's lived with me in all of them. Yeah, she's been with me for a while, so I love her so much. How many plant trades have you done? I would say that I do probably, I mean, not that many. Like, I do maybe a couple a year, I would say. Yeah, I would say I've probably averaged like a couple a year since I got into plants. Maybe 2 to 3 a year. Have you met another plant parent in person? Yeah, I've met like local plant people. I've met like people that I've bought plants from, or yeah, just people that I know from like the Facebook groups and stuff. I've met Natasha, who's here on YouTube, Planted in Platinum, and then just other local planty people, which is always cool to know I'm not the only crazy person, crazy plant person around. Do you have any jobs other than being a YouTuber? Yes and no. Not really, not in the sense that you are asking. If you're new here, I was a registered nurse before I quit that to do content creation full time. So I worked as a registered nurse for 4 years. I went to school for 4 years, and then I worked for 4 years, and unfortunately didn't love it. We're not gonna get into that, but okay, my camera just overheated, but we're back. Where was I? Oh yeah, so yeah, I was unfortunately not loving my career, and I had been doing YouTube just in my spare time, like on my days off and stuff. I would be posting videos, and like I said, this is around the time so I'd started posting about plants, and this is around the time that plants were becoming really trendy, and my channel started gaining a lot of traction, and eventually it gained enough traction that I decided to take the leap. I mean, kind of. So I quit my job, kind of. So it was kind of a leap of faith because I quit my full-time position, but I still remained on staff as casual. So I was like, okay, if YouTube isn't, you know, doesn't keep going well for me, then I will just pick up shifts as casual. You know, they always need staff, so it wouldn't be hard to pick up shifts. And that was kind of my plan, but YouTube just kept doing well for me. So I didn't really end up picking up any shifts. And then eventually I just obviously ended up quitting. So now I do YouTube full-time, which consists of this channel. I also have my vlog channel, and then I say yes and no because I feel like I do a lot of different things, but they're all just kind of like related to YouTube or content creation. So I have my 2 YouTube channels, and then I also have my Patreon where I post bonus content and stuff like that on there. And then I have my Instagram that I try to keep up with, but I'm not always great about keeping up with that. But obviously that ties into sending people to my YouTube channel, and I do some like brand deals on there and stuff. So I feel like I'm doing a lot of things. They're all just like content creation. So yeah, that is my full-time job now. Okay, next question is, did you ever get lip filler back towards the start of your channel? And yes, I did. I think the last time, so I've had lip filler twice, and wait, was it twice? Yeah, I think I've had lip filler twice, and honestly, really bad experience both times. Really bad experience. I don't know why I went back and did it the second time. I just had like a really bad reaction to it, like horrible bruising, horrible swelling, just, yeah, it was a bit concerning, honestly. Yeah, it was not good. So the last time that I had filler was probably 2019. So it would have been right before I started posting about plants on my channel. So yeah, you would be able to tell, like if you go back to my older videos, that I had lip filler. It's obviously like gone now, and I don't think I would do it again. I don't think I would really do any like Botox or anything like that. Sometimes people ask me that. I mean, if people want to do that, that's like cool, whatever, but that's just my, like, no shade to anybody who does, you know, you do you, but just, I don't think that that is for me. But yeah, to answer your question, I did have lip filler at the beginning of my channel. And then they asked, what made you finally buy a house? I don't know why I have all these pots. I start absent-mindedly just like doing something, and then I'm like, why am I even doing this? Because I get too distracted talking. Okay, we're gonna obviously do these one at a time. So I bought a house basically as soon as I could, honestly. I feel like it wasn't finally. I feel like it happened I mean, it did feel kind of like, because I wanted to buy a house so badly, it felt like it was taking a long time, but I bought a house like literally as soon as I could, because you have to, since I switched careers, you have to, when you're self-employed, you have to have like 2 years of tax returns to be approved for a mortgage. I mean, maybe there's other ways to go about it if you like make a lot of money or something, but you have to, they needed us to prove that I am going to be able to pay for the mortgage, obviously. So as soon as I had 2 years of being self-employed, we went to get the process started. So yeah, it was just a matter of being able to be approved for a mortgage and also having enough savings for the down payment and everything. I mean, there's a lot that goes into buying a house. It's a very stressful process, which I'm sure you know for all the homeowners out there, especially in like this day and age, like the past few years. But yeah, so grateful, and it still blows my mind that I'm a homeowner, because I thought that it was going to take so much longer. Like, yeah, I thought it was going to be several years before I would even be able to buy a home. But here we are, so bless. Oh my gosh, these are so cute when they're separated. Look at that little baby. That is literally so cute. Oh my goodness. I forgot how much I love bakeri. This is so cute. Oh my. The next question is, anything you miss about living life offline, or the biggest struggle you have as a YouTuber? The biggest struggle that I have as a YouTuber, I feel like we're talking a lot about like my job as a YouTuber in this Q&A, but that's just the way the cookie's crumbling, I suppose. The biggest struggle that I have is just having to do so many jobs, like finding the time to do so many jobs, because y'all only see like the finished project, which probably looks very straightforward and very simple, but there's so much that goes behind creating, not only creating a YouTube video, but also the business of YouTube and being able to turn this into something that can be a career. Like I am, you know, I am admin in multiple different ways, like when it comes to all the finances, all the business side of it, but I'm also the one that is answering emails every day, figuring out brand partnerships, because I don't have management. A lot of YouTubers have management, and I have not chosen to go that route. So I do everything myself in regards to like negotiating and planning and all that kind of stuff. And then obviously like I have to actually create the content, so I have to be the director, producer, videographer, editor, photographer, graphic designer, trying to like make something look nice in Canva. And none of these things are skills that I had before. Like I've just had to learn everything as I go, and try to do my best. But yeah, it's just trying to balance everything and find the time for everything. And I also want to, you know, be responding to as many comments as possible, be answering DMs, be like active in my community, because that's the best part of all of this. Like that's why I want to do all of this. Like that's the most fun part. And it just feels like sometimes your energy gets sucked into the things that aren't the most fun part, but they're the things that are necessary to allow me to keep doing all of this, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I feel like I'm constantly like falling behind in one aspect, but then I'll be doing well in another aspect. I don't know, there's just a lot of different hats to wear, and it can be overwhelming at times for sure. And what do I miss about living life offline? I mean, there's definitely a freedom that comes with not having the looming feeling that you need to be filming everything, which is definitely how I feel a lot of the time. Like when I'm doing something with my plants, I'm like, oh, but I could be filming this. Or if I like, yeah, anything I want to do, I'm like, oh, but I could make a video out of this. Oh, I could make a reel out of this. Oh, I should be doing this. And especially for me, because I have my vlog channel as well. So I kind of, yeah, I do kind of have this feeling that anything I am doing, I should be filming. But obviously that can't be the case. I can't be filming everything all the time, or else I would just burn out very quickly. But it definitely feels that way. And this is very much a job that, like, I've seen people joke, oh, I quit my 9-to-5 so that I could work 24/7. And it kind of does feel like that, because the job is never finished. Like there's always something I could be doing. There's always, you know, something, yeah, just something I could be doing to be more successful, but I can only do so much. I feel like this is like a therapy session or something today. Oh my gosh. Okay, another question about downsizing. Are you still going to downsize? Yes, I am trying. I am trying. Are there any hobbies you have that we don't know about? That's a good question. Honestly, I don't really think so. I was trying to get into more creative stuff. If you watch my vlog channel, I was trying to get into more creative stuff in the winter. Like I was really into journaling and just doing like little cozy hobbies. Like I've been working on this paint by number for the past many months, and tried to do crochet. I mean, I did do it, and I am gonna pick it back up again in the fall, but I think y'all knew about that. Y'all know that I really like reading. I really like cooking. I've got my outdoor garden now. I wish that I was still biking. For a while, my boyfriend and I were really into biking, like road biking. And I have not been on my bike in a long time. I think I've only rode it once since we've lived here, which is kind of depressing because I do miss riding my bike. But I think that honestly, y'all know me pretty thoroughly when it comes to my hobbies. Okay, the next question, what brings you the most joy when it comes to your plant collection? I absolutely love your channels. Thank you for always making amazing content. Thank you so much. So immediately what I thought of was blooms, when my plants bloom, like when my Hoyas bloom, or, you know, my cactus, or whatever plant really. Like if it's a nice pretty bloom, you know, some plants have ugly blooms, like anthurium and alocasia and stuff, and obviously that doesn't really do it for me. But my plants that have beautiful flowers, when they bloom, oh my goodness, when my rat tail cactus bloomed, do y'all remember? That was an iconic moment. It just makes me so happy. I didn't know how happy flowers make me until I started keeping houseplants. Like I love them so much, and that's really transferred to outside. Like I was never the type of person that I would be walking around or driving around and I would notice, like, be super joyful over the trees blooming or something, but now I am. Like I love flowers. They're so cheerful, and yeah, it makes me very happy. So, oh my gosh, this one has a huge root system. Let's find maybe a smaller one. So definitely flowers, but also just my plants that, tying into what I was saying earlier, that I have really put a lot of effort and care into growing, and that I've had for years, that just like seeing them do well, like my climbing philodendrons, when they put out a nice big leaf, oh my goodness, that's one of the most satisfying and rewarding things. Like, you know, when a big climbing philodendron puts out a new leaf and it's like still furled and it just looks like a unicorn horn or something, and it just looks so like satisfying. Oh, I love that so much. So yeah, seeing nice healthy new leaves, and just seeing plants that I've had for a long time do well. That's my answer. Next question is, do you and your partner ever talk about or hope for marriage as an option? Are you both happy the way things are? And I got this question a few times as well, in different variations, but honestly, I have never been a person that has been like, oh, I can't wait to get married, or like, I've been dreaming about my wedding day my whole life. Like I kind of couldn't care less. And to me, it just kind of seems like a hassle. I sound like the least like romantic person ever, but it honestly just sounds like kind of a hassle, sounds kind of expensive, sounds like paperwork, and that's like enemy number one. I freaking hate paperwork. So I'm like, why would I want to do that? Like, why would I want to do that? What would it actually change? Like, I don't feel compelled. I don't feel compelled. And if we ever did get married, it would be an elopement, and I do not want to have a wedding. Like, no thank you. It's just not for me. It's just not for me. There are many other things that make me excited and bring me joy in this life, but I cannot say that that is really something that I am pining for. So that's my answer on that. Have you started to think about painting the interior of your home? If so, does having plants make the decision of picking a color a little harder or easier for you? I don't know if it makes it harder or easier to pick a color, but I definitely consider it. Like, I consider which paint colors would complement all of the greenery. Yes, I have started to think about painting the inside of the home. In fact, I've been thinking about it for a while, but there's just been other things going on that I just have not committed to that project yet, and I'm hoping that this winter I will do that. We'll see. I kind of ended up taking on the garden as my big project for this year, but maybe this upcoming winter I will finally paint, because I really want to. You know, to be honest, I don't really hate the paint color in here. Like, it's this kind of like gray blue situation, and it's not the worst, but it is really janky. Like, there's a lot of holes in the walls and scuffs and paint missing from the previous owner. But yeah, I will be changing the color eventually, and I'm kind of glad that I didn't do it right away, because I've already changed my mind a couple of times. Like, for the bedroom, I was thinking I really want to do an orange, but now I'm thinking that I want to do more of like a dusty teal, like a light dusty teal kind of color, because there's a lot of pops of orange in that room, and I feel like that would complement the pops of orange, and it would be, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, not important, but yeah, it's definitely in my mind. I've had paint samples taped up in our bathroom for like 6 months, which if you watch the vlog channel, you've probably seen, because I think that that's going to be the first room that I paint, is our ensuite bathroom, because it's just a good place to practice, I guess. Nobody really goes in there except for us, so that's probably what I'll do. I think I'm gonna go with a green, but we'll see. My mind may change again. Okay, for some reason recently, I have been getting some questions about my ears, and a couple of them were on here, so I'll talk about my ears quickly. It's so random. So I've been getting a lot of questions of like why I don't wear anything in my ears. They say, why have you never worn plugs for your stretched earlobes? And I have. I used to have stretched ears, like, you know, pretty big, decent size. And I ended up taking them out like 6 years ago or something. And they've just been like, this is how far they've shrunk. It still obviously is like, you know, it's not a huge hole, but there's definitely, you can tell that I used to have my ears stretched. And yeah, I was just kind of over having them stretched, so I took them out and let them close up as much as they would, and I've just been kind of chilling with it. I honestly don't think about my ears very much. And sometimes I wear earrings, and that was another question on here asking why I don't wear earrings anymore. I have some earrings from the same company from the rest of my jewelry that I really love. In fact, I should bust some of them out because I have some really cute summery, like a sunflower ones and stuff. So the reason that I haven't been wearing any earrings or anything is literally just because I haven't thought of it. Like I don't know, just haven't pulled out my jewelry box in a while. But yeah, that's the lowdown on my ears. Used to have them stretched, took them out. You can get a surgery to like stitch this up so that it would be like just a normal like ear piercing hole, but I honestly just like don't care. So I kind of like them like the post stretched kind of thing. Gives character. Do you still own a Hoya Hindu rope? Oh my goodness, yes I do, and I'm actually gonna be repotting her soon. I think I'm gonna do it on my Patreon for my next Patreon video, but obviously y'all will see her because I'm gonna move her to the window, and she's gonna be living in the south-facing window, hopefully, if everything goes according to plan and I'm able to get her in a nice hanging basket and everything. But yeah, oh my goodness, this plant deserves a prize or something. I don't know how she has survived all of the pests there with people. I always get comments from people saying they don't want a Hoya compacta because of the pests get into all of the crevices and the curly leaves and everything. But honestly, that plant has been living on the mealy shelf for like the past year and it's never been an issue. I don't know what it is, but the mealies don't bother her. And yes, she did have flat mites, but I treated her and she's fine. And she barely, like she lost a few leaves and that was it. But she's just like an old established gal. One of my very first Hoya, I've had that thing for years. Got it from a very small plant and now she's massive. But anyways, yes, she is still with me. She's living on the Vits show, but she's gonna be more front and center soon because I need to admire her and have her hanging. And that was one of my like things that I really wanted, was to have my Hoya compacta in a hanging basket because I feel like that's just the best way to admire them. And then she'll get more light and warmth and hopefully bloom for us. And yeah, it's gonna be great. Got big plans for her. If your planty fairy godmother appeared and could grant you 3 plant-related wishes, anything is possible, what would you wish for? No pests. No pests. That's all that I want. I don't even need 3 wishes. Like, I'll handle the rest. I'll figure it out. Just no pests. Please and thank you. That's definitely just the worst part of the plant hobby. Oh, and if my mess could be automatically cleaned up after I'm done plant chores. Oh my gosh. That might even be better than no pests. Which plants in your collection would you really like to grow to maturity? One that comes to mind is my philodendron verrucosum. That one's doing really well, but I mean, obviously the leaves aren't like big. It just looks nice, the plant. Yeah, definitely the verrucosum. Also the anthurium veitchii, which is one of the newest anthuriums into my collection. I would love to have a big one of those. Oh my goodness, that would be so cool. I have no idea how mine's gonna grow for me. We'll see. But when those are big and mature, they are just stunning. What else? I'm like looking around. Ooh, my philodendron patriciae. That's another one. Those are so epic when they're big. My Thai constellation, can you imagine like a big, super fenestrated, mature one? Yeah, I'm gonna go with those. How long have you been vegan? Do you find it difficult to eat at restaurants? I've seen you eat pizza. What is the cheesy stuff? By the way, the things you cook look so delicious. Thank you. I've been vegan for 9 years, coming up to 9 years. It's either coming up to 9 or 10 years. Is it my 10 years this year? No, I think it's 9. Anyways, somewhere around there. It's been a while. Do I find it difficult to eat at restaurants? No, because I just go to the restaurants that I know I can eat something at. And usually, like if I have to go to a restaurant that's not vegan friendly, usually there's something that they can veganize. Like I went to a restaurant with my partner's family last fall that was just like a normal restaurant that they like to go to, and there wasn't really anything for me to eat, but then there was something that they were able to make like without a certain sauce or something, and it was fine. But for the most part, I just know where I can get something and I go there. I feel like most places have an option these days. Like everywhere I've been, there's usually an option. Like I can't really, yeah, like it's pretty good these days, I feel. It was definitely harder like 10 years ago to find options. I've seen you eat pizza. What is the cheesy stuff? It's just vegan cheese. There's lots of different vegan cheeses, lots of different brands and different styles. And yeah, the local pizza place that we love to get pizza from here, I think they use the Dea cutting board shreds, but honestly, I'm not sure, but it's very cheese-like. Like I remember when they first came out with that vegan pizza there, and people were like calling and being like, you gave us the real cheese, but it was indeed the vegan cheese. So yeah, that pizza could definitely fool someone, but it is indeed vegan. If you see me eating pizza, it is vegan. Next question is, how do you clean velvety leaves? I feel like the only way that I really clean velvety leaves is in the shower. Like I feel like just washing them off, like it's really hard to, sometimes velvety leaves, I feel like my El Choco red was bad for this, but when the leaf unfurls, they can leave like that residue on the leaf. And it is hard to get off. It is hard to get marks off of velvety leaves, but the only thing that I really do is shower them. I don't know if anyone has any better tips of if you've found like a certain solution or a product or something or method that you can use to clean velvety leaves. It's just much harder to wash them than shiny leaves. Like you can pretty much just scrub a shiny leaf and get it looking nice again, but velvety ones are more difficult and can also be more sensitive. So I just shower them. How to use grow lights with calatheas? Honestly, couldn't tell you. Haven't used a grow light with a calathea before, I don't think. The only calathea that I'm really interested in growing is the Warshawixii, which unfortunately I don't have anymore. We should go out one day and go on a hunt for a new calathea Warshawixii. That might be kind of fun. Maybe I'll film one day and we'll do that, because I do need to replace that plant. But that plant hates light, so I would never give it a grow light unless it was very far away. But yeah, the sun is enemy number one for that plant, so I don't have a lot of advice on that one, but I would just say start with a very low intensity and then maybe work up from there and see how it goes, because I'm sure different types of calathea have different like light preferences. Okay, got this taller pot that I'm gonna put the one with the biggest root system in. Oh, I feel like I'm inhaling soil. Okay, have you had any early successes or failures in your garden this summer? My outdoor gardening experience has been very trial by fire, and I'm curious if you did a lot of research and put a lot of thought into which plants you're growing, or if you're just winging it like me. It would be fun to hear you talk about how it's going either way. So it's going well, I would say. I'm very happy with my garden so far. I will say that since we had such a cool and wet spring and early summer, a lot of my plants were very slow to take off. My cool crop, like my salad bed with my lettuce, kale, green onions, stuff like that, spinach, arugula, that did amazing. Like I was shocked at how much I was able to grow and how quickly it sized up, and just, yeah, oh my goodness, greens for days. Never eaten so many greens in my life. So that was amazing. And that bed still looks great, like it's super lush. So that did really well because of our cool weather, but because it was so cool, my warmer crops like my tomatoes, squash, what else? Yeah, zucchini, beans, cucumber, all of those things stayed small for so long, and it's just been within the past week or two that they've really started to grow. And they've actually gotten really big just in a matter of days. It's crazy how fast things can grow out there when the weather's nice. Like I notice a difference just in one day. Like when I go out and water the next morning, if the previous day had nice weather, I can notice the difference, which is really cool. So those things definitely had a slower start. So we'll kind of see how it goes. But as for whether I put a lot of research and thought into it, I kind of did, but my form of research is just watching YouTube. So I watched a lot of gardening channels like Epic Gardening and stuff like that. And when I was planting something, I would look up videos about like that specific plant to try to learn what it needed and what its preferences were. And I would look up like the companion plants and like try to plant things together that were going to work well together. However, I will admit that I got a little lazy with that at the end. Like when I did my second kind of round of sowing, I just kind of popped in seeds wherever I had space without looking up like whether it was a good companion plant for those ones, because I was just kind of like, whatever, I'm just kind of planting things where I can at this point. So kind of a mixture of flying by the seat of my pants and putting some research into it. Like I still obviously don't really know what I'm doing and have a lot to learn, but I would say that for my first garden, like I'm fairly impressed. In one of my last vlogs, I did a garden tour, and that was only a couple of weeks ago, and it has changed so much since then. Like it's just crazy how much it changes just in a matter of days or weeks. So yeah, it's been a really cool experience so far. I've been loving the garden. The next question is, do you water your plants with tap water first to get the roots wet, or do you just water with fertilizer water straight off? Are you ever concerned about fertilizer burn? So I used to be really concerned about fertilizer burn, and I would, if a plant was really dry, I would water it straight through with tap water first and then put the fertilizer water in. And I don't know when I stopped caring about that, but eventually I did, because I don't do that anymore. I will just water my dry plants with fertilizer water, and I don't think that I really have a problem with that. So is that an actual thing that I should be concerned about, or y'all should be concerned about? I don't know. But I don't do anything to prevent that anymore. I just water them with the fertilizer water if I'm fertilizing. Okay, so that is the last of our little bakeri babies. They actually look really good. They were not looking good for a while, but once I started fertilizing them, they really got some nice color and started growing a bit more. So I am super happy with these so far. Okay, so since I've finally gotten around to separating and potting up these baby anthurium bakeri, let's do a little surprise giveaway. This is only going to be for Canadians. I'm so sorry, but I can only ship plants within Canada. If you want one of these, comment down below and tell me what your favorite plant is. It can be any plant, and leave your Instagram handle so that I can reach out to you if you are the winner. Let's do two. I'll do two winners. I will ship these babies out to you if you are in Canada. And I will announce the winners when should we close this? Let me look at a calendar here. Okay, we'll do 2 weeks. July 25th, I'll pick a winner, and then I'll ship out the following Monday if weather permits, depending on what's going on with the weather then. I'll obviously just pick the winner randomly, but yeah, I will post when the winners have been picked. Anyways, back to the questions. I don't have a question, but more of a request. How are your bear's paw succulents and string of things doing? I recently got 2 bear paws, variegated string of pearls, ooh, variegated string of hearts, oh my goodness. Why does nobody like string of hearts anymore, by the way? Somebody please tell me. Why do I feel like I'm the only person that owns string of hearts anymore? I don't know. I feel like I've said this before, but like, they used to be so popular, and now I never hear people talk about, so good for you for getting a string of hearts. They're so fun. I'm super excited about them, but also terrified of overwatering them, so I've been checking them every day for the past few weeks. I keep looking at videos of other people's plants, which is how I found you, hello, to live vicariously through. So I would appreciate an update if you have those plants. Much love from another plant lover in the Pacific Northwest. Okay, my bear paw is outside, but it's actually doing really well, so I'm gonna go grab it so I can show it to you guys. I feel like it was looking so sad when we did the repot and I put it outside, and now it's plumped up. I actually just watered the plants out there this morning, but it's plumped up and it's growing. It just looks so much better. Don't y'all think? Don't y'all think? He's looking so cute. Yeah, with bear paw, they're really easy to tell when you need to water them because the paws get soft. So that's what I do, is just the kind of squeeze test, or just when the substrate is completely dry. I've never had an issue with overwatering these, I don't think. In fact, I've had more of an issue with underwatering. Most important thing is a well-draining potting mix and also high light. If you have those things, it's gonna be really hard to overwater this guy. It's honestly the same story with all of these guys. Like for the string of pearls, same thing, just water when the substrate is dry, give it a lot of light and a well-draining mix, and you're gonna be fine. Mine lives in a south-facing window. Yeah, this is actually doing really, really well. This is my variegated string of pearls, which I'm kind of obsessed with. I love her. Like, look, she's looking so cute. And you know what? I'm thinking that we should go ahead and pot this, because I've been meaning to put this directly, pot it into this pot for such a long time. And I was scared to repot this when I first got it because it was small, but now it's grown so much. Like, this is a really healthy plant, so I think it can tolerate being repotted. And it's gonna look so stunning once it's finally in this pot. I love this so much. This was a gift from a friend and it's just so gorgeous. It makes me so happy every time I look at it. So I want to see these together, like actually potted in there, not just awkwardly sitting in a nursery pot. So let's just do it. We've already got the potting supplies out right now. Impromptu string of pearls repot, let's go. So, but yeah, that's kind of my advice for all of those plants. Just the well-draining mix is really important and highlight is really important. Fellow veg here, and I'm curious if you tried any of the products recently released, and if so, what you thought. Reese's, Hershey's, Baby Bell cheese, Kraft mac and cheese, etc. Also, have you tried soy curls? If so, favorite way to prepare them? If not, highly recommend. Oh my gosh, soy curls are one of my literal favorite foods. They are so good. Oh my goodness. Favorite way to prepare them is probably air fried, tossed in a little bit of avocado oil, garlic powder, cayenne pepper, salt and pepper. Yeah, and then air fried, and then put on top of like a salad or like a what's it called? Like some sort of like creamy pasta, like an Alfredo, or like, yeah, some sort of creamy pasta with those soy curls on. So good. So yeah, big fan of soy curls. For some reason, they're so hard to find here and they're expensive, like when you do find them. So that kind of sucks. Where I used to live in Victoria, I had a source at one of our local grocery stores, they had them. So I don't even know if they sell them there anymore. Yeah, they're hard to find for some reason, but soy curls are so good. So yeah, I agree. Love them. Also, I've made like vegan butter chicken before with those soy curls, and that is so delicious as well. So much that you can do with them. Oh, or the vegan chicken noodle soup with soy curls. Oh my gosh, that has to be one of my top ways to prepare them as well, or like to have them. That is so good. We often have that when we go camping, and it's just such a delicious soup. And as for some of the new products, I've tried the Hershey's, I think that was good. Tried the mac and cheese. I didn't love it. I prefer the anise for sure, but my boyfriend really liked it, so I don't know. It's cool that they have it anyways. Baby Bell cheese, did not like that, but I also don't think I would like the regular Baby Bell cheese anyways. And I haven't tried the Reese's, but I would literally perish. Why is that not here in Canada yet? I've never seen vegan Reese's here, but oh my goodness, that is gonna be like the best day ever when that becomes available. And probably concerning, oh shoot, I forgot I watered this morning. And probably concerning because I'm gonna wanna eat heaps of those. But yeah, oh my gosh, I love food so much. Okay, next question. Who do you look up to in the content creator world? Planty or non-planty? Honestly, I feel like I look up to, well, yeah, I guess there's lots of channels that I look up to for different reasons. There's a lot of people that are just like really consistent, and I look up to that because I don't know, it's just hard to be consistent and like upload on a set schedule, but there's people that I follow that like you can 100% expect them and know that they'll be posting their video on their upload days, and that is just so inspirational to me because I suck at that as much as I try. I feel like I used to be really, you know, on it with my upload days, but I don't know what's happened. It's just hard for me now. I think because now I make much longer videos than I used to, and it's just, yeah. So I definitely struggle with that. So when I see other people, like some of the, is this rotted? Oh my God, you guys. Some of the roots look unwell, but some of them look well, so I don't know. Oh, that stresses me a little. Some of the roots literally look kind of unwell. It's questionable of whether, the plant looks fine though, and the pearls are like firm. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna mess with it. I'm just gonna let it sort itself out, hopefully. I mean, I'll take cuttings if something starts happening, but maybe it just doesn't have like robust looking roots to begin with. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, there's some like vlog channels or like lifestyle or even like book creators that I follow that post super consistently, like Shaughnessy Schroeder. She's one of my favorite book channels because she is just a literal ray of sunshine. I love watching her videos. They always just put me in a happy mood. But she is so consistent. She uploads 3 times a week, and like no matter what she's doing, she is like traveling all the time, like doing all sorts of, getting up to all sorts of fun stuff, and she's just always on it with her posting schedule. It's so inspiring. And also Olivia Reads a Latte, one of my other favorite like lifestyle bookish creators. She posts a weekly vlog every single week, like 2-hour long weekly vlog every single week. And I'm just like, how are you doing it? Because I can do that for a few weeks, but then I inevitably fall apart. Like right now, I'm behind on posting on my vlog channel, which is, I hate it, but it's just hard to balance everything. Like, my goodness. So when I see these girlies doing it, I'm just like, dang, like, go you. So yeah, I guess just anybody that's like really just on it and like seems really consistent and organized. But then there's also people that I admire their videos because they have just like really like just really beautifully edited like aesthetic videos that just like are so soothing and just lovely to watch. Those channels, like Catherine Karras is one of them that I can think of. Again, like a lifestyle bookish. You can see I watch a lot of PLANTY, but I also watch a lot of like the bookish lifestyle, just like cozy vibes kind of genre of YouTube as well. So her channel is just very like, it's art, honestly. Her videos, like, they're so stunning and comforting, and yeah, I just love them. So yeah, I could never edit like that, so it's really just like inspiring to see people creating content like that. Okay, is this like too, let's try to get it in there. Okay, I think it's fine. Which YouTube growth channels do you watch, if any? I don't think I currently really watch many. Like, I've definitely watched them in the past, and I do think that they are really helpful for like the business side of YouTube and growing your channel, because there is, you know, there is a YouTube of business. Does that make any sense? There is like, I think that it pays, like if you're trying to be a successful content creator or YouTuber, it's definitely helpful to like learn as much as you can about how it all works and like how the algorithms work and blah, blah, blah. But I definitely haven't really been on top of watching those channels recently, but some that I have watched in the past, Film Booth, I feel. Katie Steckley, I still watch her sometimes. She has kind of fun videos and is like more relatable than, I feel like a lot of them are really like business bro men kind of channels, which obviously is not my vibe. So yeah, I feel like it's kind of hard to find channels that, but yeah, I definitely, I mean, if anyone has any suggestions, anyone watches that kind of stuff, leave your comments down below, because I do find it really interesting and also helpful. I just haven't really been watching any. As of late, for fun, pick a day that you'll get to 200,000 subscribers and see if you get close. Okay, I am going to guess, let me think about this for a minute. I'm at, what, 140,000 right now? I think it's gonna take me like 2 more years, unless something crazy happens. At like the rate that my channel grows. I hit 100,000 like a year and a half ago, I feel. Yeah, so like 2 years. So let's say July 2026. That's so far. July 11th, let's say. Is it the 11th today? No, it's not. Oh wait, it might actually be the 11th when this video goes up. I just said 11th because it's my favorite number, 11. July 11th, 2026. Boom. If we can make it happen sooner, that would be even better. Although subscribers don't really like, yeah, it's a cool metric, but it's the viewers, like the people who are actually watching my videos, because I have 140,000 subscribers, but do I get 140,000 views on my videos? Not even close. Definitely not. So it's like, yeah, the viewers, like y'all, I'm sure a lot of you watching are not even subscribed, but you are a valuable member of this channel. So thank you very much for watching, but also hit the subscribe button. Last question, if you could pick 5 of your moss poles to rehome, which would they be? Oh my goodness. Okay, let me see. 5? That seems like a lot. Oh my gosh, okay, I guess I'll say my marble queen because I could always just take new cuttings from the one in the bedroom. Marble queen. Oh my gosh, it's hard because I love all of my plants that I have on poles. Like, they're my favorites. Okay, Adansonii Indonesian mint, only because that plant just like hates me for some reason. Oh, I don't want to say philodendron serpens, but like, she's really not pulling her weight. I'm gonna say my philodendron majestic. That is one of my all-time favorite plants, and I'm only saying this one because for some reason this particular situation I have happening with my current one is just not doing well. So if I rehomed that, I would just repurchase like a different healthy one that I could start over with. Jose Bono. And I know that is insanity, but I have another one. I have a backup. And then for the last one, I guess I'll say well, I feel like my philodendron orange marmalade isn't really giving lately, but I also think that's because she's not getting a lot of light. And I do have faith in her potential. I'm gonna say my Cebu blue because that plant hasn't been doing well, although it's picking back up. Y'all will see in the next updates video, but just as a whole this year, that plant has not been doing well, so I could always just start a different Cebu blue on a pole. I don't know. That's gonna be my 5. That was stressful. Okay, am I still working on this? I think so. Okay, let's just do a couple more because I feel like I have been talking forever. Oh my gosh, we're only on page 3 of 5 of the questions. Will there be a full garden makeover video? You mentioned wanting to do fencing all the way around the garden for more privacy. Also, it'd be nice to use the garden for the dogs too, more freedom to roam around in. Honestly, I would love to have the whole yard fenced, but we fenced one side of it this spring, as many of y'all know. And just to fence one side of our yard cost $10,000. So, and that was like the cheapest that we could get it done. We had people that we know, like friends, do it. So we got like, you know, the best price that was possible here. It's just very expensive to fence. So I don't think that we're gonna be, like, I don't have any plans to do any further fencing. And you know, the thing about letting the dogs out, like, I don't think that they would really roam around anyways in the yard because we don't have a back door that goes to the backyard. If we did, it would probably be different because then we could just let the dogs out. But we kind of, yeah, it's just not really like, definitely in our next house, I'd love to have like a fully fenced yard. And just have that kind of situation happening. But I just don't think that yeah, it just is what it is. And I'm just glad that we have the one side fence, because that's the side where our neighbor is like right smack dab beside us. So it just, you know, is helpful to provide some privacy and stuff like that. So it was important to fence that side of the yard, but yeah, just very expensive. And our neighbor said no when we asked to help them pitch in to fence between our properties. So yeah, we had to pay for the whole cost of that. Okay, I think that this is all potted up. Oh my goodness. Wow, finally. How cute. Let's see. Let's get this all. Which way is it? Oh my gosh. I think I want to have some coming down on each side. Oh, they're all kind of, okay, they're all kind of tangled together. Maybe I'll just leave that for now. Hopefully eventually, oh my gosh, okay, it looks a little crazy. I feel like I'm gonna need to like sit down and untangle this one day, or just wait for more growth to come shoot out on the other side. But hey, at least it's potted up now. Feeling good about that. There is my crazy looking string of pearls. Okay, lovely. I'm gonna hang it up right now because I'm scared of something happening to this pot. Did I even finish answering that? I don't know. Anyways, full garden makeover video. Don't think so. I haven't really been filming a lot of anything that I've done outside because I've just kind of, I mean, I've shared bits, especially on my vlog channel, but yeah, I've mostly just been kind of figuring that out in my offline life. I don't think I'm gonna bother with a string of hearts. I don't know. I'm hungry, my stomach's growling, and I feel like I've been talking forever already, so I feel like we should wrap this up, but maybe I'll do a couple more questions. Do you come from a family of keen gardeners? Were you raised with plants at home? Not really. Like, I love how a lot of people have sentimental stories of how they got into houseplants, and they're like, oh, my grandma or my mom was really into plants and, you know, stuff like that. But not really. Like, my mom had a few houseplants, like she still does, but nothing like she was not into plants or like into gardening or anything like that. Does your partner enjoy gardening and all of the plants at home too, or is he just accepting that they come as part of the deal with living with you? Yes, the latter. He's not into plants, and he's just accepting of it, and he begrudgingly helped me set up the garden, like moving soil and filling all of the beds and everything. Yeah, he's not very into my hobbies, but that's fine. He's cool with me just doing whatever I want with the plants around the house and in the garden, like, so that's great. Works for me. Do you ever think you will move from your house? If so, why? Yes, probably. Like, I definitely don't think that this is our forever home. I would love to have something just a little bit bigger. Like, I don't need a massive house, but I would love to have a room to be like my office slash plant space kind of thing. Because this is just a 2-bedroom house, and our second bedroom is like my boyfriend's office now. So that's why all my plants are just out here in the living space. So I would love to have at least a 3-bedroom would be really nice. And there's just some things about this house that you can't, especially when you're buying your first home, it's very hard to tick all of the boxes, especially if you live somewhere very expensive like here. So like I've mentioned in one of the past videos, I would love to have a house where you can just walk out to the backyard, to have like a backyard door. You know how like the dining room will have like a patio attached to it, just like access to the outdoors. Like, I would love that. That was something that this house didn't have, but it had a lot of other things that we really liked, so I was kind of willing to compromise on that. And yeah, just the size, it's just very small. Like, we can't even fit a full-size couch in our living room, so just like a little more space would be grand. So maybe one day. What is the tattoo on your temple? Is it on this side? I can't even see I think it is. It's a rose. Hopefully you can see it. And it actually goes completely behind, like on my head. It goes down to behind my ear. And I got it when my head was shaved. So yeah, I thought, you know, let's tattoo my head while we have access to it. I actually do really like that tattoo, even though I never see it now because my hair is longer and I have bangs and yeah, you don't really see it that often. Can you explain the difference between philodendron melanochrysum, splendid, glorious, and verrucosum? I currently have melanochrysum and experiencing some annoying plant traits a lot of other people have dealt with. Can you possibly rank them from best to worst and how to care for each of them? My mom and I watch your videos and get inspired to do our plant chores. We love you. Thank you so much for the sweet comment. So philodendron melanochrysum is its own species, and then the splendid is a hybrid between the melanochrysum and the verrucosum, and then the glorious is a hybrid between the melanochrysum and the gloriosum, and then the verrucosum is its own species again. So melanochrysum and verrucosum are their own species, and then splendid and glorious are both philodendron hybrids. Melanochrysum experiencing some annoying plant traits. Yeah, I honestly feel like melanochrysum is one of the hardest philodendron to grow unless you buy it at a large size. I've heard multiple people say this, that to grow them from a small cutting or from a small plant, it's very hard to get them to size up and to do well. But if you buy one that's already like a mature size, then you have a lot better chances of getting it to grow well. So I don't know if that's true. I had a melanochrysum once, just a small plant, and yeah, it just ended up being so difficult. I ended up rehoming it like a couple of years ago because yeah, the leaves would just get stuck. It would not size up. It was just a bit of a frustrating plant, which is unfortunate because they're so beautiful. Like, I am tempted to try again with melanochrysum. Should I? I don't know, but I am tempted to try again because they're just so pretty. But yeah, I think that they're definitely just a harder philodendron to grow. They love humidity and yeah, they definitely need to climb as well. I would say that the easiest to care for out of all of these is the splendid. That one is just so vigorous and so hardy. Definitely a beginner friendly philodendron. Doesn't even need a moss pole. If you just give it a wooden stake or like a bamboo stake or something like that, it will do just fine. Sizes up very quickly and is just a super like tolerant plant of anything, like of neglect, of underwatering. It's amazing and also so stunning. I love the kind of like bluish, I'm looking at mine right now, it has almost like a bluish tone to it. Like, it's just so pretty. Splendid really did get the best traits from each of its parents. And then the glorious, I used to think that the glorious was more difficult to grow, and maybe it is still more difficult to grow than the splendid. But now that mine has gotten going, like, it is just amazing. I'm obsessed with it. Such an easygoing plant, so fast growing, like, it's actually ridiculous. So yeah, those two, the splendid and the glorious, they definitely have that hybrid vigor. They're just they're amazing plants, easy to grow. Recommend both of them. I would recommend the splendid #1 and then glorious #2, and then verrucosum, I don't know, I like, my verrucosum does okay. I don't think I have as hard of a time as other people do, because I hear some people just cannot grow verrucosum at all, and mine does okay. And maybe that's because I live in a bit of a cooler climate, because I think it is a plant that likes cooler temperatures. So maybe it likes that, I don't know. But yeah, that one does okay for me. A lot of people struggle with spider mites with theirs. I haven't had major spider mite issues with mine, but it is a stunning plant and it is one of my favorites. Even though it doesn't grow as well as the hybrids, I still am trying to grow that one. And then, did I talk about all of them? I think so. The only other one that was in there that isn't, I guess, listed, but is one of the parents of the glorious, is the gloriosum. Yeah, the gloriosum, which is a crawler. So it has a very similar look, honestly, to the glorious. So I would just choose between them. They're both easygoing plants, I would say. But if you want a crawler, go for the glorious. If you want a climber and you want to deal with a moss pole and stuff like that, or sorry, if you want a crawler, go with the gloriosum. If you want a climber, something more vertical, go with the glorious. Don't need a lot of light either. Like, the gloriosum and the glorious, I would say, can both get away with, like, on the lower end of lighting. Okay, y'all. Oh my goodness, there's so many questions left and I feel bad not answering them. Like, I really do just want to answer everyone. I think last time I did a Q&A, because I do them every few months. I think last time I did one, I ended up just continuing some of the questions that I didn't get to in another random repot like a few weeks later. So maybe I'll do the same this time and I'll save the rest and we'll kind of, you know, have another little mini part 2 to this. But yeah, I need to go and eat some lunch. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed hanging out and chatting, getting some repots done. Oh my goodness, throwing things now. Really excited to have my babies potted up. Don't forget to leave me that comment down below if you are interested in winning one of those and you're in Canada. Again, thank you so much to Peak for sponsoring today's video with their incredible matcha. If you want to check them out, don't forget that you can get up to 15% off plus a free rechargeable frother and a cup if you shop through the link peaklife.com/fern. It will be linked in the description. Everything will be down in the description, so definitely take a peek down there. Okay, thank you guys so much and I will see you in the next one. Bye!
Try